Thank you very much, Jethro, for that insight. Jethro is at Kawempe live on ground, making sure that he brings us everything as it happens. You are watching Good Morning Uganda. Julie F. Nantabamusisi is my name, and please stay tuned because we are on ground to bring you everything as it is. Now, like I said earlier, we do have a political analyst in studio, and that is Mr. Milton Kambula, who is here to dissect the nitty-gritties of the Kawempe by-election as he sees it from his vantage from where he is standing. Good morning, Mr. Milton.
Good morning. Thank you for this opportunity to have invited me here. And I want to say peaceful elections in Kawempe is the vision, is the dream that all Ugandans should be able to pray for right now, as we also learn from this experience. 2026 is coming. So what are we learning from Kawempe North?
That's so true.
Yes,
now allow me also put you on the spot just to break the ice. Earlier on, Olive did put me on a very tight spot, and she asked me if I were to bet, which candidate would I put my money on? So let me pass that ball to you.
You know, I work, you are talking to the president of Global Peace Foundation. Our work is a non-partisan and non-profit mandate, and I just wish everyone well. Actually, for everyone to stand, these are 9 candidates, right? To us, we first appreciate all of them, and we know they are all winners in the perspective of volunteering to put themselves forward to serve the people of Uganda. That is a great advantage. And I want to say thank you, Mr. President of the country, Uganda, and the NRM government, particularly for allowing Uganda to maintain and sustain this democratic principle of 5-year elections. Every 5 years there is an election taking place. If an MP dies, it is certain that an election will be held. So I want to say, Mr. President, thank you for giving us this opportunity. Of course, in the previous governments, you are aware that the previous governments did not maintain this kind of culture as per and enshrined in Article number 59, that every person in Uganda, every citizen will enjoy a right to vote a member of parliament or a president or an LSC1, LSC5 of his or her choice, you know, to represent him or her in parliament and all these institutions. So I want to say I salute Mr. President. Thank you so much. And I think I've answered your question. I am non-partisan. I wish everyone well. Let's go and vote in a peaceful and calm environment. Electoral Commission, you have done your job. I salute you. Thank you for having brought those technologies. And the citizens of Kawempe North, please maintain peace. Maintain peace, because peace is the foundation for democracy. Peace is the foundation for economic prosperity. And peace is the foundation for security. So we'll just vote that. Go and, you know, cast your vote peacefully. Go home and watch UBC TV. We are live and clear. I thank you, BC TV. And wait for the results. Yes, no need for pulling ropes and fighting. Police, please, and the security agencies, maintain calmness. Maintain calmness. Maintain calmness.
Now, you have expressed that democratic principle. How are political party dynamics playing out between major parties in this particular election?
Of course, I want to inform the country we are still learning. It's still work in progress, but I think the speed at which we are learning is not very effective. As you have heard from one of our colleagues on the ground, politics of partisanship, you know, us versus them mentality of religion. The other one is a Muslim, you know, the other one is a Christian, is still playing critical role in our elections in Uganda. And I think that explains to you why we are still divided as a country. And so USA as a country, you see, it's a United States. It's one, and that's why it's a superpower of the world. And China the same, Germany the same. What are we learning? It's all about playing politics that unites the country, unites tribes, unites religions. And so I feel this candidate in Kawempe, it is something that we got to learn. the politics of partisanship, tribalism, sectarianism has made Kawempe to remain as a slum, a poor place in the country, a conflict zone in the country. So we feel that this election in Kawempe is going to uplift and put the citizens of Uganda who live in Kawempe to connect to the national perspective and ideology that we are one nation, one people, created by one God. That means a lot in this election. So I feel that Kawempe, please show us that you are united towards a national ideology and national values, that tribalism has no space in the politics of the country. The religious intolerance has no place in the politics of the country. But also this political ideology that yes, we can have NUP, we can have UPC, we can have DP, and possibly PPP, and all political parties. It is time that we have reached to where we can take a cup of tea or eat food on one plate, and no need to fight each other on the basis that we are political parties, but rather on the basis of who has a good model.
Mr. Kambula, allow me interject. Allow me interject with what you've painted you want to see for Kawempe in regards to peace and being on one table, sharing the same plate and same cup. Do you think it has been expressed throughout the campaigns thus far?
We have been preaching, and I want to say thank you, UBC, for giving us this opportunity to continue educating the people through this platform. And we have peace ambassadors on the ground, we have reporters, we have electoral observers on the ground. And what I am seeing in this election in Kawempe, it has been very hot. And all candidates are young, energetic. These are very resourceful people. But as I have told you, it's one of the gaps that we are seeing, that young people are not learning from the history of this country. And we wish that Kawempe North elections teach us a lesson that the winner should be able to unite all other candidates, and also uniting the entire population of Kawempe to be one, Your religion is a personal business. You know, being a Muslim is your personal business with God. And you being a Christian, it's good, and we have religious freedoms in the country as enshrined in the Constitution. But that should not prevent you from associating and working with everybody. And so we want to see that kind of vision coming in the compound, in the game plan of politicians. It's not politics that divides the people of Kawempe, but politics that brings the voters to realize that enough is enough. We got to unite and work together and turn Kawempe from being a slum to being like Dubai. Those are the great, and to achieve that vision, religion and tribalism will actually divide us. Then we cannot think together. We cannot bring resources together. So that's why the narrative of the Peace Service Ambassador, Kambula Milton, today is praying and seeking and saying peace must come to Kawempe, so that the criminality, the unemployment, the slum, the abuse of the environment, where everyone is throwing kavera, that this is 21st century. So we are praying and seeking that the voters will vote rightly, and appreciate Museveni's and the presidency's capacity to defend our right to vote. It's good. I love the people. These pictures are sweet. When I see people voting, no one is beating them. No tear gas. I feel good. And I think security agencies, I think you heard what I said. The last 1 month I've been in tests on your necks and ears. Remove tear gas, remove the kokoro out of Kawempe. And I think, Mr. President, you have led us well this morning, and I feel and pray that it continues up to the evening time.
Now, this also paints a picture of, and it's a litmus test of some sort of what 2026 will look like. And I understand the passion of peace, the message of peace that you preach, for us to be on one table. But how best do you think these sentiments can be taken out of the citizens' hearts as we look forward to 2026, so that by 2026, as every Ugandan votes, they are voting for one purpose, one mission, and that is peace for all Ugandans and the development and growth for all Ugandans, as opposed to religion or tribe or any other sentiments that divide us as a nation?
What is very important right now is to show God, the one who created us, that we are learning. Uganda is the most beautiful country in the whole world. The most beautiful, the most blessed nation in the world. We cannot just play politics that, destroys Uganda, but rather uplifting Uganda, the pearl of Africa, to show God that we appreciate what he gave us. So it has reached a time when we have to get all our differences and burn them in some sort of a dustbin and kind of come together. We want to see Bob Wine, we want to see Museveni, we want to see Besigye of this world, Otunu. Is Otunu still there? Yes, he's still there in the north. We want to see Abedi Bwanika, all these political stakeholders and even their political parties coming together, involving themselves in sports for peace. Why not? Maybe a dinner for peace. Maybe even Museveni to open gates of State House and organize a dinner for all political party leaders, and dance together, eat together, and have a debate, peaceful debate, like the presidential debate we had last time, without showing to Ugandans that we cannot sit on one table and discuss the future of our country. If God sat down with Satan to talk about the issues of Job, why not? Why not in the 21st century to discuss the future of our country? Why not? So we rather use our security manpower to defend the territory or our borders against the regional or international aggression. We need to deploy security where it is necessary. We don't need the security, even police and these AK-47 in our elections. We got to show the country and the Ministry of Defense and Security that we have grown. We can manage our elections peacefully and, in love. And whoever passes through, it means that he is actually representing all our ideas, our demands, rather to fight one another, kill one another, and even block investment. Can you imagine? Tourists will not come to our country, and we are dying of poverty. You are saying unemployment. Unemployment requires $100 million to come into your constituency. Who is that person that is going to bring money to open a factory in your village there, when every day tear gas, putting each other down, killing one another? Who is that fool that will risk that $100 million? But a country whose elections and democracy and rule of law peacefully delivered, human rights delivered, that country has more chances to have more tourists, have more investments. Even local resources can be harnessed. But look at this. If we are fighting, do we have even the time to know that there is gold under the ground? We cannot. We will be just killing one another like DRC. And these people from Europe will be coming. Okay, they are fighting. I think we should. The gold is down there. Yes. As we are killing one another, for the people there, they are stealing our country. You make
a very, very crucial point there. You make a very, very crucial point there, Mr. Kambula, and it's very pertinent, and I hope that message has been driven. Kawempe North decides today. It's the Kawempe by-election taking place today, the 13th day of March 2025. And what you can see on the screen there is footage from Kawempe Mbogo. There we've seen a citizen of Uganda, someone who's disabled. Something to encourage you that it's not about your disability, but it's about your ability to take part in the developing of your country, in the building of your nation. So to every citizen out there, everyone who is from Kawempe North, take your right seriously. Go cast your vote. Go have a voice, so that ultimately if someone is in parliament, it will be because you actually proved your voice, you cast your vote, and you had something to say. And even when you're holding them accountable, you hold them accountable because you know you actually cast that vote. Mr. Kambula did talk about the different candidates that we have, and we have 10 of them in this particular by-election. So allow me ask you to analyze the campaign strategies that have been exhibited by the different candidates and how effective these campaign strategies are.
Of course, I will start with like, for example, Aganaga, who has been, that's from FDC,
Yes.
who used the door-to-door strategy. I think he felt it works for him. As he's an artist, being an artist, he's trying to craft, I think, use his music, his talent, riding on that, and I saw him going door to door.
Yeah.
But also the NUP candidate, that is a council,
Nalukola.
Nalukola in my language means green Nalukola. The NUP's strategy was to have, I think, open campaigns, not undercover. I think, but also internally, the elections internally were very hot, and I think gave him that opportunity for going wide and spread. The NRM candidate, my sister, that is Farida. Of course, having been a former candidate for women MP, she seems to have been critical in opening NGOs. She has NGOs on the ground, and I've been getting reports that the NGOs she put on the ground helped her to have the numbers of women and the children, the youth, the students. And her strategy, I think, was not to go up front at first, but to use the NGOs, the civil society organizations, but also the NRM structure. I think she just came out 2 weeks ago now to broaden the campaigns, while NUP just opened. Others, like the son of one of our former head of state, Milton Obote, is an independent. He wanted to use the background of the father, and then networking. He's part of the many WhatsApp groups of the UPC, the elders. That's a strategy also. And I pray for him. I pray for everybody. Then you have the DP candidate. He was using the ground, the foundation of DP for many years. And he's focusing on Nkumbi Terimba, and I don't know how he's also going to actualize that, Nkumbi Terimba. And the green, he wants Kawempe to be green. So these are different strategies, and because of time I may not go into details of everyone, but just like the World Cup, everyone, prepares, you prepare. But the winner is always there. So we pray that those of you who believe and who have allegations of they have stolen elections, there is here, I think, and I just say, please gather evidences of where you think elections are being manipulated, are being stolen. Have fundamental, practical, evidences, and document them, test them, and report this to Electoral Commission, and report them to the police peacefully, without banning Kawempe. Kawempe is a slum. If you ban one house, you are literally going to ban the whole village or the whole constituency. So it comes to that. Then lastly is to authenticate evidences. There is where they say Orugambo, allegations. I think Honorable Minister, the Minister of Youth, State for Youth, I think it was early enough. It was early for him to come on the media to say that Babia Karuru. To me, as a minister, you have to be exemplary. There is where you are supposed to first report these allegations, because there are those people who will say, that will be already, they have stolen, they will not go for voting. So it has two double-edged. You may think by announcing or putting across an allegation that is not authentically tested and verified, you think you are doing the right thing for your party or for your candidate. Actually, you are doing it bad, because some voters, especially the elderly and the youth, will say already that to be. Why am I going there? So please, members, remain peaceful, continue motivating the voters to come to the polling station. It is not good that Electoral Commission came early and for us, the voters, come late. That mentality in Uganda should stop, and we are learning from Kawempe's experience. You wanted to vote. You wanted to have an MP to replace late. He said we should not call him a late. For him, he's still legislating in heaven. Oh. That is what Sejirinya said. So I must say, the voters, please go early. Go early so that you vote peacefully, you go home, and they count these votes early. I don't know why. We must announce these results even early. But because people come late, then the line piles and piles, it becomes long, and it attracts insecurity in the evening. Then ababi, you know, abagala genda wali kunasa rodi indikatotegede oburuti buchawera. I think someone will call now, candidate, I have an alternative for you. We are the ones creating these kind of the wrong activities in the middle. Vote early, go home, count the votes, announce the votes. Those of you who want to go to court, please have the evidences peacefully gathered, authenticated, and present them to court. And the courts of law, please, corruption should not be tolerated in the elections of Uganda, because they block justice. They make us have bad people in the parliament, the half-baked MPs who make half-baked laws, and then who will eventually not help Uganda to move forward and compete with the rest of the world.
Now, you did talk about the youth there, and before 2021, you could tell the picture, the general picture on ground, that youth turned up, had a low voter turn up. And when it came to 2021, it was quite different. It was really quite different. What would you speak into the matter of the youth voting and taking elections seriously as to how it affects their future as Ugandans?
We have a population, my sister, in this country who are not aware of what Uganda is, what Uganda has, what Uganda doesn't have, and what we must do. What is each person's responsibility? We have lacked that civic education and civic consciousness of Ugandans. They seem to be in a darker corner, in a darker world. They are blind.
What do you think causes that?
There is a lack. In fact, it comes from the family, as the parents. You go to early morning, you come back, the child has been on the TV, but what they are watching also on the TV, it's not like this UBC, which has a lot of programs to educate people, but the social media also. We don't know, we are not good citizens generally, and we like complaining when everything is actually, you know, so we seem to be irresponsible citizens. And now the young people, we have the young people who like, of course we like things. We want to see democracy, rule of law, human rights. But you must fight for them. You must advocate for them. But here it is, the Electoral Commission has brought things early. For you, you are at home in your matatu, Mani, you and Arsenal. You don't connect that going to vote a leader of your choice guarantees you to have the public services. You want the roads, the medicine schools, the enough teachers, the peace and security, because the leaders represent you and they go and lobby, they go and make the laws, but no one is educating them. The Uganda Human Rights Commission, which is constitutionally mandated to educate Ugandans about their civic responsibilities, they have not done their job well. And somebody need to wake them up, support them. Mr. President, we don't need a dull population, because a dull population which lacks civic education, civic consciousness, cannot become ideologically aligned. And in this case, we have younger people. For example, like you, I call you younger people because I'm a Mukade. The level of engagement, like the way I'm engaging the country, is very hard for young people to engage in the country. They now say, we have to vote an MP. Again, can you imagine? That is what they are voting. They now vote also. Why? That kind of stupidity. Now, how does that translate into helping Kawempe North constituency to get out of the status of being a slum? Now, sometimes we say those people of slum that they are good. I was in the slum, I'm from the street, I will never go back to the street. That life of slum life There is a lot of drug abuse. There is a lot of
does that mean that that candidates or the members of parliament who the so-called ghetto youth vote into parliament are meant to change their narratives to better people from grass to grace as opposed to maintaining it? Is that what you're trying to say?
Vote a candidate who is better than you in thinking, in mind, in creativity, in understanding. Vote a teacher. That's what I'm talking about.
What if that teacher has to speak my language for me to understand?
The language,
to be teachable.
Everyone wants prosperity. Everyone wants peace. But he's a candidate who's talking, even the way he talks is in slow motion. Nga yachikubye, nga candidate omulaba yachikubye. Mwana inze sigana nakoge bachimanye chokola. How can you vote such a stupid idiot? Vote a person who's smart in the head, who's coming to match other MPs in parliament, who's coming to think national, not tribal, not protecting interests of the Catholic Church or Islam or some sort of vote rightly. Bino bintu sibya kusaga bobo yagala kubisagiramu kitegere. In Uganda wants to move forward. We want to compete with America. We want to compete with China. We want to compete with Russia. But how can we do that if we are voting lazy people who have no values? Tebamanyi Katonda, babbi bayaye bebabadde babba enkoko zo ku kyalo, bebali amayirungi ne waraji, bebali abo bebatwana bakazi baffe ne batubako bakazi baffe. That kind of mentality. So some of you who are listening to this TV, I call upon all Ugandans to get out of the mentality, get out of the box of ignorance. Let us walk like our ancestors who built Africa, who built the pyramids without even a parliament.
Mr. Kambula, allow me.
But now for us, we have parliament, we have the cabinet, we have judiciary. So these are the things that I would like all political parties, even the political parties, are very weak. Very, very weak. In Ugandan politics, they are divided. They are the most. They have no. The vision they have is all about them. Their political party. Not Uganda.
Allow me be the devil's advocate here. Yes, you've talked about the type of citizens from the ghetto. The labels you've painted there. And just what if they're stuck with that mentality because the candidates who supposedly help them take them from grass to grace only mind themselves when they get to the positions of power like parliament and forget the needs of what is on ground, what mentorship programs to be placed on ground. What if it's the case and these youths are just looking for someone who understands them, speaks their language, and should help them pick themselves up to grace like the rest of society that you would expect them to be?
That's why I'm calling upon Mr. President to actually use the 1 year he's left with up to 2026 and all government stakeholders to love their country and be volunteers. Now no longer work for your salary. The motivation of working for this country should not be any more of a salary. You know, ngenda mu parliament kukola sente. Ngenda mu parliament nange nekubeko enfufu. It's like commercialization of politics, of our offices, of me and my family. Then you loot the whole, the money meant to construct roads, deliver public services like awakening and sensitizing people against malaria or terrorism. For you take home, you buy a good car, build a good house, and but you are killing the country. So I'm calling upon.
Allow me interject you a bit. Looking at what's on our screen, we have footage there of Nalukola arriving to cast his vote, and definitely he's voting for himself, but he's taking questions from the press, as we can see there. Hopefully we're able to take a listen as to what he's saying, but he has arrived to cast his vote. He is one of the candidates, the 10 candidates contesting for the Kawempe North by-election. And his full name is Elias Luyimba Zinalukola, and he is holding the flag for National Unity Platform. A bit of sound there to see what's going on ground.
Guys, look at space for me. This is that minutes here.
All right. Good. Nalukola, Elias Nalukola Luyimbazi, the flag bearer for the National Unity Platform.
Election. And we are coming to you live from Chirokole polling ground, where there are 7 polling stations. In one of them, the NUP candidate, Luyimbazi Nalukola, is going to cast his vote here. And as you can see on your screen, he starts with the verification with the polling officials. And of course, he will continue to the basin to tick. And that's it. We thank you so much for following. We'll keep you posted throughout. And here comes
Elias casts his vote. He's picking. Okay, he's now placed the ballot in the basin, and he's sticking his name, obviously, and showing off the fact that he has voted for himself as it should be. And he's at Tula Kawempe Chirokole Road. It's where he has cast his vote at about 13 minutes after 10 a.m. the time he has cast his vote. He's a 42-year-old Ugandan lawyer, senior lawyer, and he started working at Ocheng Harimomja and Company Advocates until 2016 when he established his own firm, Nalukola Advocates and Solicitors, which advocates for constitutionalism, the rule of law, and human rights. Showing off he has placed his vote in the ballot, and his is done. All he has to wait for is what comes out of the result. It's the Kawempe North by-election taking place today. And very soon we shall also be seeing Hajat Farida Nambi casting her vote at Kawempe Mbogo. But for now, so far we've seen Nalukola cast his vote. All right, you are watching UBC TV, here to inspire Uganda, here to inspire you in every way, and every conversation that we come with is meant to ultimately inspire you to be a better citizen of your nation, Uganda, and add the value God has created for you to add on your nation, Uganda. Mr. Kambula Milton is a political analyst, and he is one we are having a conversation with today, and ultimately his message is one of peace. When we left off, he was talking about the quality of candidates we vote, the quality of people we hope to better our lives, yet ultimately they might also not know what to do when they eventually get to the glory of politics and the political spaces we send them to. What do you think of what you've seen so far?
Yeah, that's the power of democracy. That's power of democracy. You realize that Donald Trump, President of the United States, his first term ended, and it was just a break. Said, no, you cannot move and lead this country. But when time came, of course, when he lost power, Biden came in, but the Americans said, we got to bring back Donald Trump. That's the power of democracy. And what we are seeing on TV, we got to celebrate that, because that's what will prevent people from going to the bush. There must be that consciousness, that belief, that trust, that we can lose everything, but we will not lose our democracy, the power of the people. We should always resist to be tempted to remove such a kind of a right. It's good because it guarantees peace and security. Even a stronger economy, because people want to go to countries to put their money that guarantees such a kind of democracy, so that there is a rule of law. People can vote any leader of their choice. After 5 years, you get, again, people decide, so that country has more chances to prosper than a country where elections are not guaranteed. No, even if someone died today and after 1 week there is the general elections, Electoral Commission, I want to say thank you, because we are just going in a few months from now to have the general elections. But you have respected this article of replacing the MP whose life has gone to heaven, so that in 2026 again we vote, we have another. It's not wastage of resources. It is the power of the people. That's what the people have said. That's what they said must happen. So what I'm saying is
Mr. Kambula, yes, allow us first go back to Chilokole Tula Road, where Nalukola Elias Luimbazi is speaking to the press. Let's hear what he has to say.
Nebanna Uganda, mwebale nnyo kubanga mutuwagira nga mugoberera ensonga nga bwe zitambula mu ggwanga. Nteesa era nga mbasaba bannakawempe North mujjumbire okulonda kuno. Wadde mulabanga abakwata mundu bangi, abatiisatiisa bangi, emmotoka nnyingi ezitambula ezitalina number plates, abatambula bangi ababisse n'amaaso gaabwe nga bataddeko obukookolo. Ebyo byonna tebibatengula mmeeme. Mugende mulonde, mugende mukozese eddembe lyammwe okusalawo ani anaabakiikirira. Amawulire mangi ge tufuna agoolesa nti waliwo okubba oba waliwo ebiteekerwateekebwa okukola. Mulimu okuba nti bakuŋŋaanyizza bato baffe abavubuka okuva mu ghetto bajje bakyankalanye okulonda awalonderwa mu polling stations ez'enjawulo. Olwenna emmotoka ezo ezitaliiko number plates zijje n'obululu obwawedde dda okutiikinga balyoke babuyiwemu. Tutegeezeddwa ebifo bingi eyo gye bali mu kuteekateeka nga batiikinga obululu. Batugambye ewa mukulu wange mukyala Sauda Nsereko nti waliyo bye bakola naye tetunnakakasa butuufu bwabyo. Madina Nsereko ekyebando nti waliyo abakwata mundu abapoliisi n'abamaje bali eyo batiikinga nti Pastor Luwaga naye ali eyo Nakamiro naye tubirondoola. Amawulire gonna ge mutuwa bannange tugatwala nga ga nsonga era tugalondoola n'ebifo ebyo tugendayo tubakyalireko tubabuuze bannange kituufu ebiboogerwako bituufu. Mukyala Nsereko ow'ekitiibwa ebikwogerwako bituufu nti oli eno oli mu kugaba ssente nga bw'otiikinga obululu. Mukulu Pastor Luwaga bikwogerwako bituufu kuba amawulire ago tugafuna naye tetugatwala nga ga kusaaga era tuteesa musigale nga mutuwaaki amawulire ago naye tubasaba musigale nga muli banywevu. Obukulembeze buva eri Katonda. Katonda kyaba ayagadde kibeere yalagira bulagizi abantu ne bakikola nabwe ekiti ekirina okubeera kijja kubeera naye tusaba bannaffe be tuvuganya nabo bagumiikirize anaasinga obuwagizi obungi anaasinga obululu obungi tukkirize y'oyo abalangirirwa. Ffe tulowooza kye kisinga obulungi si bwe guli yenkola eya demokrasi. Today I have already voted. I have voted in my favor and I encourage all voters in Kawempe North to turn up and vote. Don't be intimidated by the presence of the armed men, numberless motor vehicles. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the information you have offered to us. We have learned from several people that there are wrongdoings going on somewhere and we are investigating the same. We have received the calls that are at the home of Honorable Nsereko Madina at Chevando. They are pre-taking votes. They are distributing money. But we are taking it as an allegation that the same is also taking place in Nakamiro under the leadership of Pastor Luwaga. We are investigating the same. And if it is true that you are doing such, be prepared. We are coming. We are coming to talk with you in a civil manner and to advise you to stop such activities because they are wrong. They are contrary to democratic principles. But we are encouraging voters to turn up and vote. It is your right to participate in voting. We are also advising our political adversaries that we should let the will of the people reign. It is God who determines who to lead. And once God has made a decision, such a decision is implemented by the people themselves. Let that which has been determined by God be. Let the will of people reign. I thank you.
Thank you. Papa, let's be patient. What do we do now? Well, stop for that habit. Let's cooperate. Okay?
All right, that is Elias Ruimbazi Nalukola, who's the flag bearer for National Unity Platform Party at the Kawempe North by-election. And he is at Tula Road where he has cast his vote. And you've heard his message. You've heard what he has to align and say there. But also, let's take a look at what is happening at Kawempe Mbogo, but that will be in just a few. But Nalukola is alleging cases of ballot stuffing, and he has named names there. And he says that they are not facts, but he has stated that NUP is probing into this matter, citing cases of numberless plates on ground as well as masked men who are supposedly said to be security operatives. Now let's look at what is at Kawempe at Mbogo, and Jethro is on ground. Jethro.
Yes, Julie.
Yes, please. What's happening?
Thank you so much, Julie. Now, as we stand now, we've received some communication that is coming in that any time from now, the candidate of the National Resistance Movement, that is Farida Nambi, will be coming in about 2 minutes. And as I talk now, we've also received a number of people who are coming. Probably they will be following their candidate as she will be casting her vote. We still have a few dignitaries that are here also to monitor the situation and on how things are really standing by and how things are moving at this current situation. Earlier on, you asked me about the question of the youth. I can surely tell you, if my camera person can really show you around, that we now have a number of youths who have really gathered around, probably to witness what exactly will be happening at this particular time. I'm also seeing a few military police gentlemen, officers, as well as those in the police uniform who are here to also safeguard this entire process to ensure that everything is moving on smoothly. But for now, everything is moving on smoothly, but also at a later stage, I'm going to be talking to Rosemary Nansubuga Seninde, who is the chief mobilizer for the National Resistance Movement. We also need to understand what have they done as NRM and as government to ensure that we have a free and fair election. As for now, Honorable, you're most welcome. You're live on UBC TV.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank the security organs who have actually come to help us beef up the security and ensure we don't have any confusion. When we have tried to move around in the constituency, and we are seeing calm, people are voting and there is no confusion. So meaning the security is good. So we want to thank. And of course, I also want to appreciate the people who are coming to vote, because we have seen challenges in many by-elections where people don't normally turn up in big numbers. But in some polling stations that at least I have visited this morning, I have realized that people are coming up in reasonable numbers to vote. And we are confident that probably by the end of the day, many more people will have voted. And by the end of the day, I believe a big number will have voted. First of all, I want to thank the people of Kawempe who have welcomed us well during the time of the campaign. We have voted, we have campaigned, we have done our part, And I want to say that I think people are realizing that lies can never help, because propaganda and lies have been, what happened in 2021 was a result of lies and propaganda. But I think Ugandans are now realizing that that is not the way to go.
Honorable, as we talk now, I can see the NRM candidate who has really arrived. Have you, as we move, have you done enough mobilization to ensure that you take the votes from this place?
We have done enough mobilization, and we are confident that we are going to win this election by God's grace. This campaign has been based on the issues that affect the communities. That is where we have put our emphasis.
Honorable, if I let you go, we've had allegations that probably have predicted ballots that were brought in this place.
That is not true. It is not true. I think our colleagues in the opposition are just worried.
All right, thank you so much, Honorable. That is Honorable Rosemary Nansubuga Seninde, who has been giving us an insight on how things are really transpiring. But as I talk now, the NRM candidate Farida Nambi has arrived probably to see how best she can cast her vote from this very particular place. And what we have to do as for now is to see how best we can have a smooth election. You can see Honorable elect for the NRM candidate, that is Farida Nambi, hugging Honorable Nansubuga Seninde. The Honorable has been escorted by a few dignitaries around, of course, to ensure that we have a free and fair election. So as for now, she is moving to her polling station, of course, to cast her vote. And these are the live proceedings that you're seeing at the moment to see how best we can see how things will be transpiring as for now. For those who are watching UBC right now, and also our sister station, that is Star TV, that is the NRM candidate Farida Nambi. She has donned a yellow gomasi. She is very smart, she is composed, and all the Kawempe people are just waiting to see how best this can really move on. But by the way, looking at the given situation on how things have really been like, we saw a number of people who were really coming in, and we could easily anticipate that someone is really coming in, and this is the candidate we have been waiting for at this very particular polling station. So we wait to see how things are going to be transpiring, but of course we do expect a very free and fair election at this particular time. Like I told you earlier, we expected her to arrive at about 9 a.m. but as for now it's about 10:30 a.m. and I think she is ready to cast her vote. Earlier in the morning, of course, we wait to see how things are going to be happening. Earlier on, we had a low turn-up of voters at this particular time, but as for now, people have actually kindly improved when it comes to issues turn up. You can see the security personnel who are trying to ensure that we do have a smooth run, and you can see the NRM candidate being guided on how things are going to be transpiring. She has to first, of course, ensure that she is eligible, because her credentials have to be put in the system, of course, following the alphabetical order depending on the names that she used and those that are really appearing on the national register. Remember, by today we shall be also understanding what exactly will come out of these elections. But of course, remember, we shall as well move to Makerere University, where they have designated the National Tally Center for the day. So beginning by the closure of business today at about 6 p.m, we shall be seeing the polling agents who will be also ensuring that everything moves on smoothly. I also see the chairperson of the NRM Women League, Lydia Wanyoto, who is accompanying the NRM candidate, but of course being guarded by a police officer who is giving them directions on how things are really transpiring as for now. But of course, we wait to see. We expect things to move on smoothly, but of course we can't anticipate what will really happen later at a later stage. You can see the chief mobilizer for the NRM, Rosemary Seninde, holding the candidate, of course, in composure, probably making her firm to see how best things can really be done at this polling station. Remember, we are coming to you live from Kawempe North, of course, from Mbogo Primary School Stadium. Yes, those who are following the proceedings are live on UBC TV. You can see the NRM candidate, of course, standing in the queue, of course, waiting to see how best things can really happen. But of course, at a later time, we shall see how best we can really get the interviews at this very particular time. Yes, I want to see if I can really get the chance to talk to the Honorable, to see how ready she is ready to cast a vote. We want to see, Honorable, you're live on UBC TV, Honorable. Thank you so much for coming. We have been waiting for you. What should Ugandans expect out of the vote you're going to cast today?
Good morning, viewers of UBC. I'm here at Mbogo Primary School ground, lining up to cast my vote for myself to cast my vote and be able to elect myself, the NRM candidate. I surely, inshallah, God willing, know that I'm going to win this election. We have really mobilized, mostly using the door-to-door strategy, where we have reached in many people's homes. We have had diverse mobilization teams. We've been working day and night. But most importantly, according to the report, the post-2021 election report, we were able to see where our major weaknesses were. The late Honorable Senjirinya won with 44,000 votes. And yet, members of NRM in our yellow book that make the whole of Kawempe division are over 50,000. What did that show us? We needed to do a lot of work within our members of NRM that are registered in our yellow books. That is exactly what we have done. We have lobbied them. We have many had issues of intimidation. You know what happened in 2021? They could not see you in yellow and not intimidate you. Many of our members just chose to be out of the vote, but we have made sure that we meet with security. Security meets with the NRM leadership here in Kawempe to give them confidence that they will really keep their lives and property safe. So we expect them to turn up in big numbers and be able to vote. Then secondly, we've reached out to many segments, like the ghettos. You know, Kawempe has over 30 ghettos. We've been moving with many ghetto commanders. We've been in the markets. We've been in the prostitutes. We've been in the alcoholics. We've been everywhere without saying. We've had about 19 segments we've been working with. So we've fully mobilized. Still, our mobilization teams are still on the ground, taking off the register to see that our members, especially of NRM, turn up to vote. Because once our NRM members come and vote, we'll start with a block vote of about 20,000 votes. That's
all right. All right. Thank you so much. That is the NRM candidate Farida Nambi, who is in the queue, of course, waiting to see how best things are going to really work out. She has told us some of the plans that they have really gone through to ensure that they mobilize very many Ugandans at this particular time. So you can see the honorable member. She is moving, of course, close to see how best she can verify her credentials as she casts her vote at this very particular time. Of course, at a later stage, I do understand that we shall be, of course, getting more time with her to tell us more on what she really expects out of this election process, and we shall also be wanting to understand if she is ready as well to move on with whatever will have really come out of this election, of course, as we wait from the Electoral Commission to announce who will be the MP for Kawempe North. Remember, we have about 9 candidates who are really contesting for this vote, but of course we wait to see. And of course we have different people coming in from the different political parties, ranging from FDC, NRM, NUP. We have those who really come on also on an independent ticket. So we'll wait to see how things are really going to work out. You can see the security is also on standby to ensure that all these moves on smoothly. And remember, this is one of the candidates, Farida station, the NRM candidate, but also we've also received information coming in from other polling stations indicating how Elias Alcola for NUP has finished also to cast his vote, but also other leaders who are also contesting for this particular seat. But of course, we wait to see. We don't know how the day will end, but of course we are standing by to ensure that we come to you live with all the proceedings on how things are really happening. You can see the people are really monitoring the entire process. I can see the chairperson for the NRM Youth League, that is Lydia Wanyoto, who is also ensuring that their candidate really goes through the right procedure and process to ensure that she casts her vote. You can see the polling agent who is guiding, of course, the NRM candidate to see if she is eligible. Of course, she has to put in her thumbprint to see if things are really moving on. We have to verify also if she is eligible to cast her vote from this very place. You can see journalists are also very many to ensure that things are really working, doing their job.
Kawempe Mbogo, that is the footage that you are receiving right now, and Hajat Farida Nambi is casting her vote. She is the contestant and a flag bearer for the NRM party in the Kawempe North by-election. I think I'm impressed by her dress code. She has totally decided to dress like what she looks like on the ballots, just in case you lose it. You're able to see that strategy right there. She is dressed in yellow gomesi and white head wrap there, just as she looks like in the ballot. That is Kawempe Mbogo, and as we can see there, she has picked her ballot, and she's walking to the basin where she is going to tick her name, and we can see all cameras are on her. She is there ticking her name as the NRM candidate of the Kawempe North by-election. She has finished ticking. She's showing it to the press for proof that she has done it right. And afterwards, she's going to cast it in the ballot box. You are watching UBC TV, here to inspire you. Good morning, Uganda. And we are focusing our lenses today on the Kawempe North by-election, which is taking place today after the sad death of the late Honorable Muhammad Segirinya, who was the Member of Parliament there. But as by the Constitution, a by-election has to be carried on so that a Member of Parliament who takes the vehicle on until the next election, general election, takes place. And that is what is happening today on that side of Uganda. Hajat Farida Nambi has finished. She is placing her ballot into the ballot box, and she has finished. Off she goes. Advising you who is of Kawempe North to please go cast your vote. It is your right, especially if you are registered. Please go cast that vote and let your voice be heard, because it's your right as a Ugandan, and you cannot afford to complain that you're not receiving services if you do not exercise your rights as well. Let's come back to Mr. Kambula. Mr. Kambula is a political analyst. His message ultimately is one of peace, and he analyzes politics, but ultimately drives it to the message of peace. How can we have politics in Uganda that develops us as a nation, but one that is filled with peace? We do not want to go back to what our parents tell us about the past years, especially for those of us who have been brought up in the era of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. At least when our parents speak to us, they tell us that it was not good. And that is what exactly Mr. Kambula also elaborates. Mr. Kambula, you've seen what has taken place.
Very beautiful picture.
You've seen what has taken place at Tula Road and Kawempe Mbogo. What's your view?
Yeah, this is beautiful. We are enjoying a century or decade in that matter of colors. Beautiful colors. She has dressed well. Yellow and the particularly Gomesi culture. She has combined the two, culture and the carrying the weight of the party. And she has come, I don't know if that is the husband, but it will be a good picture. Yes, there's a gentleman who has escorted her. She didn't talk about that, but I think it was good to know that Azene Bawe, over Muganda way, that's beautiful. And I thank Honorable Wanyoto, who has also carried the office of the NRM to come give her confidence. And I think Louis also did the same. Did the same for Nalukola. For Honorable Nalukola, is not yet honorable. That is so you realize Secretary Generals and the officers are backing them. I love how the different parties are supporting and morale boosting their candidates. Exactly. Personally, because I'm a woman, I'm impressed by the women from the NRM party. How Honorable Seninde, how Honorable Wanyoto were holding hands and holding Hajat Farida's hand. It was quite powerful for women, but also looking at the picture as it was at Tula Road when Nalukola came to cast his vote, seeing Louis Rubongoya on the ground, just around him, it was very encouraging. But there are two differences here. Yes. You realize Oli has never kanyama. Oli over kanyama. These many bouncers. I don't think we need bouncers today because the environment is peaceful. We need our leaders. If I'm from NRM or NUPO, FDC, PPP, I don't need bouncers. At this particular time, you need your wife and children, you need your uncles. It's a family affair. Well, it's perhaps, a constituency affair. Perhaps his experience from JAT, as was the past few days. We just those I think they are not even from JAT. The way we saw them, and I thank the National Security Council that actually instructed and guided the country. We don't need those Kokoro people. Me, I call them terrorists. Nobody knows them. And even the General of Minister of Internal Affairs, Mohozi, General Mo, the son of Uganda, I also don't know these guys. So if we don't know them, we don't need them today.
Mr. Kambula,
yes,
allow
please.
me stay on that point. You
Yes.
did express it as we started, but let's just throw more light into it. How should security and election monitoring efforts be handled moving forward to 2026, especially for purposes of transparency in the upcoming general election?
You know, it's good, it's constitutional that the Electoral Commission, when necessary, should be able to invite the Uganda Police Force to come and beef up security, to come and strengthen the stability and the certainty of the electoral process. But on top of that, they are also given permission by the Constitution, because everything that in the Constitution is okay. Even the UPDF to beef up police and JAT, the entire security agencies. But the Constitution does not explicitly instruct that, you know what, bring security that has covered faces. That is not there. Security means the children of Uganda who have gone to serve in the security agencies, whose names are well known and can be read, whose identities can be identified, and whose operations are in line with the terms of reference as per the electoral process. Here is an incident last week where some people who came and started beating the people of Kawempe North. So the role of security agencies, as per the Constitution of Uganda, in the electoral commission. Yes, please.
Allow me cut you short there as we go back to the field. Jethro is in the field and he's in Kawempe Mbogo right there. Jethro.
Yes, Julie, thank you so much. And for those who are still watching UBC TV, we want to appreciate those who are still following the proceedings on how things are really happening here in Kawempe, standing by here at Mbogo Primary School Stadium, where the NRM candidate Farida Nambi is just from casting her vote, and of course now having an interview with the journalists. Like I told you earlier, she came along with the chairperson of the NRM Youth Council, Women's League, that is Lydia Wanyoto. That it means I'm speaking about NRM, but I also do have Honorable Godfrey Chiwanda Subi, who is going to be giving us an insight on how things have been moving, what have they done as the NRM to see that they protect this vote, but also to ensure that they win at this particular time. Remember, Kawempe is well known for the opposition, but they want to see how best they can retain this seat. I do have Honorable Godfrey Chiwanda Subi, who has spared some time to speak to us at this particular time. Honorable, thank you so much for sparing time. You're live on UBC TV. Your NRM candidate, that is Farida Nambi, is done with casting her vote. What next for NRM? Because this region is well known for opposition, but you want to see how best you can win this time round.
Yeah, my name is Chiwanda Godfrey Subi, the Vice Chairman, National Resistance Movement in Charge Central Region, but I'm more here as the Chairman of the National Consultative Forum, a forum that brings all political parties together. So I'm here today more as an observer, but that does not stop the fact that I'm also the Vice Chairman of the National Resistance Movement in the region. First of all, I want to emphasize only two things. One is that as political parties, we signed a peace pledge. We promised Ugandans that we are going to have an election which is peaceful, not only for this by-election for Kawempe North, but also even the forthcoming general elections that are due in 2026. It's very important that we have a peaceful election, because at the end of the day, we need a peaceful country. Our country must be peaceful. Over 10 candidates have participated. Not all of us are going to win. We need one. Yeah, we just need one candidate who is going to win. It's very important people know that it's about peace. Number two, we want the political parties also to adhere to the Code of Conduct of Political Parties. Under Political Parties and Organizations Act, we have a code of conduct with all political parties, how we behave, how we should talk, how we should not, to avoid violence in our country. So I call upon all political parties and all of you who are coming to vote, please keep peace. Keep peace. This is our country. We have nowhere to go. If we spoil it, we have nowhere to run to. This is the only country we have. We must keep it peaceful. You may win, you may not win, but at the end of the day, we must move on. So I want to call upon peace. People should be peaceful into this. Finally, to all of you, especially the young people, even if you're candidate, I know at times the young people, we become so furious when probably we are not, when we see we are losing, all that kind of thing. But this is not the end of the world. This, of course, this election is just going to take 9 months. Remember, by next year we shall be in another general election. Even the candidate that is going to win today will definitely participate in the general elections if he wishes to participate or if she wishes to participate. So I want to call upon Ugandans, let's keep peace, let's respect each other. This is our country. No, we don't have any other country. This is the only country we have. We must keep it peaceful.
Honorable, talking about peace, what are some of the criteria that you have put within your capacity to ensure that all political parties and all the other political leaders also follow the criteria that are put in place and the mandates as well? What needs to be done? Because if Ugandans are playing their role, then what about the political party leaders?
Yeah, first of all, what political party leaders are saying, as we have 26 registered political parties in the country, 26 registered political parties in the country. Some of them have no yet candidates. They have no members of parliament in the house, but they are registered parties. But of course, it's very important, you as a candidate, you as a chairman of a political party, the way you speak. If you speak peace, definitely it will come back to us. If we act peace, the security organs, the government, because government should always take charge. There's nothing that can happen and say we don't know who did this, because when people elect a government, they entrust you to keep them and their property. But of course, it's very important, you as Ugandans, that if the way we behave, of course, we have a code of conduct whereby if a political party has not behaved in the way it should behave, some of these political parties are going to be deregistered. So I'm here, this is a whole team, as observers, as the NC National Consultative Forum, all the political parties are here represented. We are moving village to village, polling station per polling station. But the most important thing that we call upon all the party leaders, adhere to the code of conduct. If you don't adhere to the code of conduct, one, apart from being deregistered as a political party, but also there is also another step that we can have a very chaotic country, which does not only affect your party, but affect all of us.
Honorable, before I let you go, as an observer, what have you so far observed since morning? People have been here, I don't know, in the different polling stations probably you have reached out to.
No, one is that I've observed about 2-3 things since we began these campaigns. Apart from a few clashes that happened between the security forces and some political players, the campaigns here have been somehow peaceful. The National Resistance Movement have had here about 12 rallies, but there was no clashing between National Resistance Movement and any other political player, though that was a very good sign. People have been putting on t-shirts in their own colors, yellow, blue, red, but we've not seen a serious clash between the supporters of different candidates. That's a very good sign. So, and I want people to, to continue behaving that way. Only that at a polling station like this one, we see a lot of people piling up. That's not a very good sign, because I think security should always disperse these people. After voting, please leave the polling station, leave only the agents here, because we need to give, we don't need to create a situation where some people can create some chaotic situation and the whole situation becomes chaotic. So it's very important that we don't allow people to pile here, because when you see here, the whole mosque is now full, and it is too early. It's just coming to 11. I don't know what would happen up until when the time would come out, maybe by 5, what is going to happen here. There are very many non-voters that have actually flocked into Kawempe. It's their right, of course, to move, but it's very important that as you are here, make sure that your participation here, you observe and be peaceful.
Honorable, what does it mean for the NRM, looking at the situation on, for lack of better word, on how badly you need this win from this constituency?
No, we need, of course, we need every win. We need every, as national resistance movement, of course, we need this vote badly, but in a peaceful way. That's why we've campaigned. That's why you say when our chairman was here, our voices have gone off because we've been campaigning. We know that the only way you can get a vote, you need to convince Ugandans. Yeah, this vote means a lot to us. One, it is an indication that we can recapture Kampala. We lost the whole of Kampala. We lost the whole of Wakiso. We lost some constituencies in Central Region. So a win in this constituency is a grave hope to our supporters outside Kawempe North that we can still make it. We can still make it in Central Region. We can still make it in Kampala. So this vote is not just for Kawempe North, but it's a litmus paper to the whole region that we can really revamp, we can really, because we cannot now claim that it's sewer wave. No, part of this is going to, it's an indication. Even the results that we are going to get, even of course, even the rally that you saw here, over 10,000 people attending a rally when the chairman was here, was an indication that we are now gaining more support now in the city, more support in the Central Region, more support in most of these areas, and that's very important as a political party.
Honorable, as I let you go, Ugandans, those that have interacted with earlier on, seem not to be happy with the entire process. That is, if the NRM candidate doesn't go through at one point, people seem to be left out. That is, if the opposition takes the lead in this area.
That what?
People seem not to be happy, according to the to what people are saying, those that I have interviewed earlier, that if an opposition candidate wins, when it comes to service delivery, at times they're left out.
Yeah, of course, as the chairman of the party indicated here, representation, a member of parliament does 3-4 major roles. Apart from representing his or her people in parliament, there is also another very big aspect of allocation of resources. And in political parties, we know how we allocate resources. Apart from actually people sitting in the house, most of the things we do them in caucuses. A party like a national resistance movement, which has almost 70% of members of parliament in the house, a constituency having a member of parliament in that caucus is a very good, it's good for that particular constituency, because one, its views, they'll be able to reach the top of the organ called national resistance movement much easily than an opposition member of parliament. Secondly, when you elect, of course, a member of parliament from the ruling party, it's the ruling party that's actually managing the budget. It's very important for the voters to know that. Of course, when we were in general elections, everyone would expect now that probably so-and-so is going to win, maybe President so-and-so, there's another candidate. But in this particular by-election, there is a president. We are not going to elect any another president. There is only one president called General Kaguta Museveni, who is still here up to 2026. So as a voter who is serious and knows that you need service delivery, you need to fix your roads, you need to fix your toilets, you need to fix you need a member of parliament who connects well with the ruling party, which owns the budget.
Thank you so much, Honorable Godfrey Chiwanda Subi, who is the Vice Chairperson, of course, for the NRM in the Central Region. Of course, we do have also observers. Earlier on, I talked to one of the colleagues, of course, on the women's side, and she did give us her opinion on what she has observed so far. So we also want to understand at this particular moment what the observers are really seeing at this particular time. You're most welcome, your names and what is your role and where you're coming from as far as observation is concerned.
My name's Ambeka Walusimbi from Global Election Observation Missions. We are observers, non-partisan, non-political, non-government. Ours is to observe elections. We have that good experience. We have observed elections in Uganda and outside Uganda. Yes.
For the times you've been in Uganda, we've conducted a number of elections. What have you so far observed as far as this by-election is concerned since morning?
Since morning, so far it has been peaceful. People have turned up in numbers from the different polling stations we have visited. We've been to Birali, Kanyanya, Kazangola. People have turned up really. So we are waiting for the results.
Ugandans don't seem to be happy at times with the reports or your findings that you do after elections. How are you willing to help them when it comes to these by-elections as we move closer, of course, to the general elections come 2026?
Yeah, as observers, and as I've told you when I was starting, if you are an observer and you are non-political, or rather you are not biased, then you make that report unbiased. Definitely, all the stakeholders have to accept your report.
Where do you take the reports after the findings made within a particular time after elections?
Yeah, normally we have the Electoral Commission. Electoral Commission is our referee as observers. So we have other stakeholders in elections, like the candidates, the party, the parties. So our first referees, as I told you, is the Electoral Commission. Normally, after writing our reports, we take it to the Electoral Commission. We give copies to the candidates. Because I'm saying candidates because they are those who come in as independent candidates, then party candidates. So those are the main stakeholders in the elections and who deserve to get the reports.
Before I let you go, gentlemen, let's talk about part of the advice that you give to the Electoral Commission. Whatever you report, are there changes that are being done given the fact that not all Ugandans are represented within your engagements?
As an organization, and as I've told you, I've observed the elections, by-elections in Dokolo, in Hoima, in Kisoro. We've been making recommendations, but what we have seen so far, the Electoral Commission has been picking some of the recommendations, and we can see there are some changes as per our organization.
Are you contented?
Yes, we are.
Your last word to Ugandans who are watching you live on UBC right now.
Ugandans who are watching UBC, elections or any elections, we have to be at peace. We want peace. And as ambassadors of peace, that is our slogan or our motto, Global Election Observation Missions. We want peace. And just very soon, in September 21st this year, we are having Africa Peace Run, where all people in Africa from different countries are going to run on the same day, 21st, at the same time. And just very soon, this one is going to be launched. So as ambassadors of peace, we call upon all Ugandans, all Africans, to embrace unity and reject violence.
All right, thank you so much. Well, you've heard it from the observers as well. They have given you their opinion on what they think and what they have so far observed as far as this by-election is concerned. But also they have told you that they have observed very many elections and by-elections. They have cited out examples, of course, coming in from Dokolo, and that transpired in Hoima. So for now, we are still coming to you live from Kawempe here at Mbogo Primary School Stadium, and we shall still be coming to you up to speed as far as how proceedings are happening. Julie, I'm coming to you back to the studios unless you have any question for me.
Indeed, I do, Jethro. You've been on ground since the beginning, since the start. In your perspective, what time do you think the election will end?
Well, according to the information that I have received at this particular time, I do understand that at about 6:30 p.m. that will be the closing time. But of course, those who will be in the queue at that particular time, they will go ahead to cast their votes in that given area at that given point of time. And then from here, we shall be, of course, moving to Makerere University, the designated National Tally Center for now, to see what the Electoral Commission will be telling us on what will be coming out as far as who the winner will be given the political party.
Thank you very much, Jethro. And Jethro is on ground. He is live at Kawempe Mbogo, giving us an update and bringing us up to speed as everything unravels and everything breaks out as it is. This is a special coverage of the Kawempe North by-election, and we are bringing it all to you as it comes to us. We started off in the morning as early as 6:30, but by 3 a.m. the electoral store had already released most of the election equipment to go to Kawempe North and to the different polling stations, and the officials were escorted by armed police. But even on ground at the different polling stations, there are police constables there, and we were reliably informed by Mr. Makabai Henry, who is the Kampala returning officer, who also said that where 10 voters were, the voting process had to begin. And Mr. Tolbert Musinguzi, the regional returning officer, also advised that find out if the box is sealed. So as a voter, I hope you've been able to witness that. But EC officials were on time for the election at the different polling stations, and unfortunately voters turned up late, but nevertheless they are turning up and the numbers are increasing. And Nalukola, who is holding the NUP flag for this particular election, arrived at about 9:30 to cast his vote, and Hajat Farida Nambi arrived at about 10:28 to cast her vote. And as everything unravels, 10 candidates in contention. The winner obviously takes it all, but ours is to bring you all of it and all who the winner is, but all of it as it comes through to UBC TV. Robert Chirabo will be coming up, and still we do continue with Mr. Milton Kambula to give us an analysis of what he's viewing everything as, and we are still giving you all the coverage as it comes through. So stay tuned. We are going nowhere until the story comes to its end.